Alrighty, welcome to another episode of Rambles on Record. Don't know what number this is anymore. I've lost track after all this time, but Happy New Year's Eve to everyone watching. The first time that I can really say that there's a holiday at the end of the month besides Halloween, and I think I forgot that one. I don't remember. I might have been dressed up for that one actually. I don't remember anymore. But Happy New Year's Eve to everyone listening and or watching this. Um, it's I'm actually in that right kind of mood for this kind of thing for once. I'm very let me think. I didn't sleep for about like an hour. I kind of tossed and turned in bed for what felt like an hour at least last night. And now I'm just kind of here trying to get this done before tomorrow. But I don't really know what to talk about that much tonight. Uh, so I'll probably just touch over, more than anything, what I hope to be doing in 2025. I've said for a while that shorts content is not going to stop. That's not changing at all. That kind of stuff will not stop because I want to be in that mode of posting something every single day, even if it is something kind of sloppy and hodgepodge together at the end of the day. I also still want to be, or I want to start trying to take more time on my days off to throw something together or throw multiple things together so that they're actually better. So I can spend more time on things and think about how I want to do things, plan stuff out, have stuff ready to go for different videos, and actually have more comprehensible things going on. I don't know if comprehensible, but cohesive, I guess. The way that I'm looking at what I've been posting so far has been very much so me being like, I like what I post, but I don't love what I post. And that happens a lot of the time. It feels like I'm posting something just for the matter of posting something. And I want to try and break out of that habit. I do not like just throwing something up there and feeling like I didn't do enough for it. I want to make something that's more quality, but at the same time, I understand that to get anywhere right now, I have to be posting daily. So some things are going to slip through the cracks, but I'm hoping that I can move in a direction where that happens less and less often. But that's just something I'm going to have to aim for. I don't know how long that's going to stick. I don't know when I'm going to start trying different things. Usually it just comes to me at this moment of like, I'm so tired of doing what I've been doing. I need to be doing something different. And I just get up and I start working on something different. And that's usually how it goes for me. So hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. And I can start working on some stuff. And I want to start working on longer videos as well, though I don't know when that's going to happen. That's even less likely to happen, just truthfully as it stands right now. I'm trying to repeat myself anytime I look away from the mic, which I know is something that I'm inevitably going to do because I look back and forth all the time. It's that neurodivergence in me, I guess. But I want to start trying to work on longer form videos, but getting to that point is the real part. Thinking of something that I want to talk about and I concretely want to talk about is something that I find kind of difficult. I find myself having an idea for a video and then running out of steam for it because I get in these modes. I get fixated on something like a topic or whatever it may be. I get hyper fixated on something, and then after a little bit, it just dies down. And that seems to be my biggest problem right now. Also, I'm sorry if I keep blowing into the microphone. I'm trying to be close so that I don't miss anything. So I do apologize if I blow directly into the microphone, but I need to be trying to break out of that so that I can actually make longer videos that will take me days on days on days and tons and tons and tons of research. Because I'd love to talk about like the entirety of a line of figures rather than just one figure, and why that line has importance, what it does right, the engineering of everything. I am very interested in the engineering of figures more than just, oh, it's a figure of a character that I like. Obviously, I'm interested in that kind of stuff, but I think the way that a figure is engineered is so interesting, and what understanding how certain pieces of engineering work will help you to decide, will help you to decide what you need to use, what would work best for a certain figure. Because as a great example, that Super Saiyan Goku that came out like a year ago, I think now, the end of 2023, that figure is fantastic, and the butterfly joints on it are fantastic for that. But we're looking at a 2025 Vegeta figure that's the first 3.0 style Vegeta figure, and I'm worried about its butterflies because it looks like it's using the same kind of butterflies as that Super Saiyan Goku, which would mean that it's just a cup and it's a ball attached to a cup up here, which is attached to another ball, and the ball connects into the shoulder joint. It's hard to describe without having a diagram, but that kind of joint works really well for that legendary Super Saiyan Goku. I don't think that's going to work well for Vegeta, but if they did something more like, who's a good example? Hold on. Who is a really good example? I'm trying to think. Uh, like Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse. The way they did Miles Morales is they did this big shoulder joint that pegs in at the front. This is literally something I started thinking about today. It's this big shoulder joint and it pegs into the front of the body so that it can swivel out like this. It can hinge outward, and it provides a ton of articulation while also keeping the sculpt and keeping the range of that other style of butterfly joint. That would work better for Vegeta because of the way his armor's done. You want a hard plastic armor piece and it covers the entire chest. Well, do that kind of articulation. Have a big chunky shoulder joint that fits all the way inside the shoulder, and it's small ball joint at the front that allows it to hinge outward while also getting up and down movement. I would love to talk about stuff like that in full detail because I think that stuff is so interesting, and it's so important to understand how different, if you're wanting to go into a field like that, it is important to understand how an action figure should work and how you can make it work better. Because a lot of, like, Marvel Legends is a great example of action figures that technically pose but could pose way better. The entire way that their shoulder joint works is like a door hinge. It is an entire chunk of the shoulder that just flaps back and forth, and I don't think a single one of them can fully cross their arms across their body because it's so recessed. But if they started trying to do something more like that Miles Morales from SH Figure Arts, you could have more articulation out of it. And they started trying stuff like McFarlane Toys. Even that doesn't give enough articulation though, because the way that the ball joint is recessed into a cup just doesn't work. It just doesn't give enough movement. So if these companies want to keep up with other foreign companies that are providing better figures, they need to start working on engineering like that. And if they started working on engineering like that too, they could make their sculpts look a lot better. Because a lot of them don't have correct musculature when it comes to people, and it doesn't have the right silhouette for a person. So this is something that I find intensely interesting, and this is something that I have such a I would think a great understanding on. It's not like I'm actually modeling this stuff myself, but I have an understanding of how this stuff works, and I would love to talk about it. I want to do something to create for people, and that's my biggest thing, I think, is I want to be able to make something. And I don't know how much, I don't know what it is that I want to make yet. I just know that I want to make something. But that's where I'm leaning into things with 2025 is I want to keep doing shorts. I absolutely want to keep doing shorts, but I also want to start doing more in-depth videos on stuff that I'm interested in. And I want to say as well that this past year I have done a lot. I've collected a lot of figures. Collected a ton of figures. And this coming year, 2025, I need to reel back on that a lot. Because what I've ended up doing was collecting a lot of figures from series that I have such rudimentary knowledge on that it's just me trying to fill a shelf. And so 2025, I'm going to be pulling the reins in on that a lot. So if I do a lot of posing of the same stuff, then don't be shocked. Or if I switch to other kinds of content, don't be shocked. Everything that I do now, I will still have in there. Just maybe new things will slowly be sprinkled in. And some of the older stuff will remain. It's just trying to find something new that works, especially with an actual work schedule. Trying to figure out something that works so that I can have an easier time of it all. I guess I can't word it right now. This is the biggest problem with wanting to be in this state when I record is like I don't know how to say something. I don't know how to form a series of words that expresses the thoughts that I have in my head. And I think that's been a thing for a little bit. But I want to be trying new things this coming year, seeing what works, seeing what may not work, keeping the old but sprinkling in the new here and there, maybe moving back to live streaming. I would love to like live stream different video games, whether it be single player, multiplayer. I want to try and play. I need to sit down and play some more web fishing. I love web fishing. I got into web fishing a little bit ago. Not like a little bit ago, but a couple months ago, I think. God, I love that game. It's $5 and it's literally just you sit around and you fish like it's Animal Crossing. And I love it. It's a relaxing game. Though at the same time I do understand that it is a repetitive game. You get into a loop of just catching fish and then there's not much else to do. So, yeah. Once you advance through most of your stuff, it is literally just sitting there and being like, okay, I got to do this thing over and over and over again to get all the cosmetics. I don't know if the biggest thing is that there's not a ton of new content, but it's also one dev. So any new content that you may have is from modding stuff. So that's a thing. But yeah, it's one guy working on the whole game, so I don't blame him for not having new content every Thursday or some nonsense. But that's how it is. It's in one of those points right now where it's in a lull, and so it needs time to it needs development time, and that's perfectly fine. I also need to play a couple games like mouthwashing. I see that game literally everywhere all over my Instagram anymore, and I'm really interested in playing mouthwashing, but at the same time, I'm at that. I've I was at that point of like I can't play a single player game anymore. I need to play with friends. And now I'm starting to try and like reel back and be like, well, I need alone time. I need time to be by myself. So maybe I can start playing those kinds of games again. Like finishing Tears of the Kingdom, which I haven't done for like a year or so now. It's been a hot minute since I played that game, and I really want to play Tears of the Kingdom. So if I start anywhere, that's probably going to be it. Yeah, if I start doing single player streams again, that's where I'm going to start at. But a lot of things will likely be changing, and a lot of things will likely be staying the same, because at least for the now, because I do need some time to be able to get everything ready to start changing. I need time to develop ideas on what I want to change, like concrete ideas. But at one point or another, I will be working towards doing different things. So there will be a rotation of stuff going on the channel. And if I can, I might start. I doubt I'll actually start. If I do anything video game wise, I probably won't edit it. I'll probably just do streams of it. But everything else, if I can, I might start editing stuff together. But we'll see. It's just getting that time to sit down with my computer and taking that time to sit down with my computer and edit that stuff together. But I need to go crawl in bed. So that's the monthly update, basically. Hopefully next year when I do this once a month, I can start talking about like I haven't seen Sonic 3 yet, and I really want to go see Sonic 3, but I want to talk about movies and stuff on this as well. I want to talk about things that are interesting me, like any kind of show that I may have watched, but I don't want to make a full video on, or any kind of movie that I may have gone to see, but I don't want to make a full video on. But hopefully I can work towards that. My throat is killing me right now. There's something going in the air anymore, and my throat is sore, and I just swallowed it. It felt funky. So I will hope to see you guys later. And as I always say with this, put some good in the world. And I hope to see you guys later. Again, obviously. But yeah, put some good in the world, guys.